Sahana Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahavedyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti. There's supposed to be a Sufi joke where God seems to be playing a joke on all of us, on all human beings. What is a joke? Just before the birth, God comes and whispers something into our ears. Every human being. He comes and whispers to the ears. And then birth happens. What does he whisper? Nobody is like you. That's it. I said, this is not a motivational talker. Hey, nobody is like you. And then we take birth. And then we start believing in what? I am. Nobody is like me, sir. I am so unique. Such a unique personality. There's nothing unique. Remember this. All human beings are same only. There is no ancient, modern. There is no northern, eastern, western, southern. Nothing. Literate, illiterate, male, female. There's no such thing. All minds are same only. Why? Because the cause of all mind is same. Ignorance. Isn't it? Difference is what? Just the Nama Rupa, that's all. All pots are made of clay. All Ganesh idols are clay only. All clay Ganesha. That's what we do tomorrow. We're supposed to be doing the puja. I think that's why the strength is also less today. We see shopping. Ganesha shopping. All pots are clay only. Then what is the difference? There's no difference actually speaking. Because the material is same. Similarly, the material, the cause, what is backing the mind is ignorance. Ignorance is the same ignorance. What comes out of that is also same thing. It carries the same DNA. There is no difference. But still, we all believe in the uniqueness of all of us. From where that comes? Sufis, they say God plays a joke, it seems. You all believe, I am so unique, sir. Thereby what? I am indispensable. Everyone believes this. I am indispensable. Every one of us. In some field or the other. If I am not there, what will happen? I am not there, what will happen? Every wife thinks, if I am not there, what the husband will do? What the fellow was doing for the 28 years, 35 years before seeing you. He said, no, you can't live without me. And same way, husband also thinks, oh, what will happen to her if I am not there? It will be better. Everyone believes it. The driver of a CEO genuinely thinks, if I am not driving him on time to the meetings safely, there is a chance for him to enjoy all the success. So yesterday only, I saw one, message giving, all the bodyguards of celebrities their salaries. I was thinking of quitting this, joining there. 1 year is enough. Life is settled. 1 year you work there, enough. Nobody is coming anywhere there, and all the photographs those guys will be there. Take any photograph of Aishwarya Rai, her bodyguards will be there. Amitabh Bachchan bodyguards will be there. Everywhere they will be. So he genuinely feels what? Oh, if I am not there, who is going to guard them? Who is going to guard them? It's amazing to see. You heard of Stalin? Not the chief minister. Original Stalin. You know the meaning of that name, Stalin? Meaning. What's the meaning of the name Stalin? That was not his original name. You know that, no? I don't know how many of you know that, no? You don't know, you also don't. That's not his original name. I some other name. I'm missing the name. Now don't Google, huh? Okay. You don't go to Google now. Listen to the class. Right. Immediately I'll Google it. Vidya is not here. By now she would have given answer. You would have Googled and given answer by now. Stalin means man of steel. That's what he is. Stalin. And his successor, what's his name? The successor's name? Just after Stalin, he took over. The Gorbachev coming from there. Yeah, not that far. He writes in his memories about Stalin. I'll just get it. Just flashed. Suddenly feels so indispensable, and that suddenly it flashed in my mind. Not unconnected, okay. I don't think it's suddenly unconnected. I'm talking. Still within the topic. Stalin, that man of steel. He had a double. When you go and shake hands with Stalin, you will never know whether you are shaking hands with him or you are shaking hands with the double. The Sri Lankan leader, he surprised the press meet. In the press meet, readings and everything was done. He brought a paper, he read the whole thing, he finished all that, whole press was there. Suddenly, from behind, original came. He also had, leader. He also had double. Stalin had a double, it seems. Why? Because he was feeling so insecure. People may attack and kill me. Who? Who's good? Not outsiders. His fear was such an extent where his daughter was cooking. He was not employing outsiders to cook. His daughter would cook and serve the food. He will ask 4 people to eat that first, not 1 person. He will ask 4, and this guy is one of them. he would eat. Those four fellows will eat first and wait for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Nothing happens to them. Then he will eat it. Fascinating. They all thought him to be such a powerful, great man. That's why they gave him the title, Stalin. Title was given. But he was so afraid. He was so scared. What? Outsiders. And that fear grew. Insecurity grew. A point came where he started fearing his own people. Further, what happened? Insecurity grew further to a point where he could not trust his own daughter. He writes in his memories, a point came where he was scared of himself. This is unbelievable. From where that sense of insecurity comes. Everyone has that sense of insecurity. All that you are doing in your life is only to get rid of that sense of insecurity. From where it comes? Destructiveness. A destructive tendency. One who carries the destructive tendency. Impossible for you not to feel that sense of insecurity. It is so insecure. What? You're insecure about yourself means what? What can you do to that person? You're so insecure. Why? Insecurity you feel because of what? Ignorance. Go on and on. That's why you can't relate with people. Every relationship, there is a sense of insecurity. No relationship we have where we feel secure. Every relationship has this. The only relationship where the possibility of security can feel secure is only Guru Sishya. A temporary sense of security you will feel with a friend. That's a temporary, remember. The next one is this. That is why we say always the Guru Sishya relationship starts as a friendship. The starting point of a Guru Sishya is friendship. That friendship gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and blossoms itself into a Guru Sishya relationship. Starts as a friendship. You feel more and more secure, more and more secure, more and more secure, more and more secure. A point would come where you can be yourself. He will not judge you. You can do anything. He is not going to judge you. That is where the Guru Sishya comes in. Relationship blossoms, matures into it. You can't establish Guru Sishya relationship. You can't say that, okay, from tomorrow you are my Guru. I appoint you as my Guru. And you give the appointment letter also to him. And probation period is there. I'll keep you as my Guru for 6 months. If you perform to my satisfaction, then you will be, made as a permanent one. And then promotion will be given to you further. You can't give like that, you see. But how it starts? It starts as a friendship. And the Guru retains that friendship from the beginning till the end. It is the Sishya who changes the whole flavor of it. Because he changes a flavor inside. The transformation happens inside him. To him, it is a Guru Sishya relationship. But for the Guru, it is only friendship. From Guru's standpoint, is a friend from day one till the end. Always a friend. That's why in the Gita you will see, throughout the Gita, Krishna keeps on repeating, I'm teaching you this. Why? Because you are my friend. You are my friend. You are my friend. But Arjuna doesn't say that I am your friend. Arjuna says what? Sishyasteham chapima from. Please accept me as your Sishya and guide me. He calls this. That's it. So that's the only possibility where you can feel secured in that relationship. Because in all other aspects, this you can never feel secured with relationships. With money, you can never feel secure. How much ever you have wealth, you can never feel secure with it. Never, it's not going to be. That you would have heard many times. Everybody will talk about it. At least God will give you security. No. God also will not give you security. Why? Because which God you go to? You appoint him as a God. No? Isn't it? I appoint him as God. Only then it is. So one day you see this, one day this. So he says he has that sense of self-sufficiency. Meaning he doesn't feel insecure at all. There's no sense of insecurity, which is the self-sufficiency is from the negative side. First, he referred to action. Next, he referred to emotion. Third, he referred at the intellectual level. Power, love, knowledge. Those 3 points referred with reference to the 3 equipments. Body, you perform action. Mind, you feel emotions. Intellect, you gain knowledge. So, with body, how you perform action, how he performs action. What is your quality of action? What is his quality of action? What is your quality of emotions? What is his quality of emotions? What is your quality of knowledge? What is his quality of knowledge? This is the 3 angles. Now, the last 2 points what he is giving is from the very personality, being itself. There he gives 2 sides. One with the passive, another one active side. The passive side or the negative side, you can call it perhaps, if at all you want to understand it like this. And say it is no sense of insecurity, that is self-sufficiency. We feel so insecure, he feels totally secure. Why? He is self-sufficient. That's it. The next one he gives is a positive of the same idea. Same self-sufficiency, put it in positive way. That is his fulfillment. Again, we all always understand our fulfillment versus his fulfillment. What we understand as fulfillment and what he experiences as fulfillment. This is how we will understand. That's the 5 points, the 5 ideas that he explained under the topic of his intrinsic being. This is the sequence of those 5 points. You can take it. Now coming to the next idea of his fulfillment. The bliss of self-realization is infinite. A person who revels in that state of bliss remains absolutely fulfilled. The greatest happiness that the world can provide cannot enhance his bliss, nor can the deepest sorrow diminish it. That state of supreme fulfillment is inconceivable. It cannot be captured in words. Reveling in absolute bliss within, the self-realized remains wholly satiated, fulfilled. He requires nothing, aspires for nothing. No physical pleasure, no emotional joy, no intellectual satisfaction can augment his state of supreme bliss. Alexander the Great, the emperor of Greece, came to India. He had a desire to meet one such sage. He was led to the bank of the river Indus. He found the sage lying on the ground, basking in the sunlight, bare-bodied, barefoot. The emperor was thrilled at the sight of the holy man. He requested the sage to accompany him to his country, offered him wealth, power, pleasure for acceding his request. The sage smiled at him. He told him he had everything. He was everything. He was everywhere and did not need anything, nor wished to.
இன்னொரு வாட்டி வேணா கேள்வி சரி. அப்புறம் இந்த கூட ஒண்ணு இது பண்ணுங்க, ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு சின்ன கூட ஒண்ணு, அது ஒண்ணு வைக்கலாம். கிரீன் கூட இந்த கிளாத் எல்லாம் போட்டு ஹைட் சரியா இருக்கும். அது கீழே வந்துருக்க பாரு, 40 அடிக்கிறேன். உனக்கு வலது கை சரியானதே சரியாகும்.
The sage smiled at him. He told him he had everything, was everywhere, had was everything, and did not need anything, nor wished to go anywhere. Alexander insisted that he accede his request. The sage laughed at his immaturity. The emperor felt insulted. Acting impulsively, he imprisoned the sage. The wise counselors warned the emperor of the consequence of such sacrilegious act. Alexander took the advice. He realized the seriousness of his offense. He went up to the prison. There was the man relaxed, gazing at the sunbeam coming from an opening above. The emperor sought the good man's pardon and beseeched him to accept a boon. The sage reiterated that he required nothing. Now the emperor reverentially pleaded with him to accept it, just to satisfy his conscience. The sage was impressed at his devotion. He compiled, "In that case, dear king, please take a step aside and let the sunbeam fall on my eyes." Beautiful episode. Explaining what is that state of fulfillment. Because as he had said earlier, it is not possible to explain what is that fulfillment. We just can't understand. There's no way to realize, connect, and put it in words. Remember, anything subtler goes, words break down. Words cannot communicate. Words, you cannot communicate subtler ideas. So the only way we can is to give such parables, such stories, such instances. And Puranas were plenty of such cases you will find in Puranas. Every Purana you have. Every life of a Mahatma is like that. Tell them, I give this, I give that, I want nothing. This is what Christ also said. I have nothing from thy hands. Get thee behind. Because Satan offered him all the three worlds. He said, I'll make you a king of all the three worlds. Take me. Take my offer. He said, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. That's what happened to this fellow also. Because why Alexander wanted was, when Alexander went and told his teacher, Greece, went and told his teacher, Aristotle, and told him that I am going to conquer the world. So that, what do you want? When I conquer the world and come back, what do you like to have as my present? To which Aristotle said, if you can get one wise fellow from India, bring. Knowing fully well it is not possible to get any wise man from India. Don't get offended, all those people who are in abroad. If you are wise, you wouldn't have been there. So that is what the parable shows. I am not saying that. Okay. These people will not want. And his teacher told, get one fellow with you. So when he came to India, he wanted to take one person, and they showed, there's a person you can meet him. If he comes, you can take him. That is why he was so insisting. Otherwise, Alexander was not interested. Why he has to carry unnecessary problem taking him? But his teacher had requested, Aristotle had requested to bring one person. So he asked, to which this man gave a reply, which is, very, very genuine boy, young fellow, Alexander. A boy actually, you can't even call him as a man for his age. But very devoted to his teacher. And this man spoke a language to him which he couldn't understand. If Indian were to be heard this language, we will not bother. Yeah, correct. Because Alexander says, you come to Greece. This fellow's reply is, Greece is in me. Now, what do you mean Greece is in you? That's exactly what happened to Christ also. He said, come, follow me. I'll make you the Caesar. And those people didn't understand. Poor fellows. No fault of theirs. Because they are not used to this language. Indians are used to this language. If we were to hear a man speaking like that, we say, yeah, we know. Correct. We know the class is there, not today. It will be available on YouTube tomorrow morning. So there is no problem for us. Let's go for shopping. No problem for us. See, we have learned how to deal with these people. Alexander has not learned it. See, even though the West has not learned it, poor thing. Indians have learned how to deal with sages and saints. What do? Go do pranams and get out. See, don't listen to them. The moment they start speaking, we turn deaf. Till then, there is no problem for us. And Alexander is not known to this. Suddenly he says, Greece is in me. He got confused. He said, no. He said, if you are not coming, I will kill you. He pulled out his sword and said, I will chop your head off and see that your head is rolling on the floor. And this man gave a reply, I also wish to see that. For I have never seen my head rolling on the floor. He thought, that's where he imprisoned him. After that, only he imprisoned. He said, either this man is a bad fellow, but these guys are all calling him very, saintly person. And there is stages also in him. So he couldn't understand. So he thought, anyway, we imprison this guy and carry him with us, let the teacher deal with him. Then the counselors told him, you're making a mistake, man. You cannot take them. It's not possible. So you better go and meet him again. That's where he comes back again to meet this man. Yes. All that you have to do is what? Just step back. He is taking sunbath. That's all this is. Inside the prison, what is he doing? Sunbath. Enjoying the sunlight. Fascinating episode. Explain what is that state of a thing. Can you have the courage to say, no, I don't want, I don't need? When will you have the courage to say, is only when you understand you have everything already. Otherwise, it's impossible for you to take a stand like this. It is that understanding with which you take that stand. Fascinating idea. See, these things, don't try to practice all this. Remember. Remember this idea. In this chapter, ideally speaking, we should skip it and go. You see, but since he has written, there has to be something in it. What is in it is not for you to practice things. Don't try to practice. You have to understand. That's about it. Practice na, don't attempt. Because I am going to attempt, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Don't go to your customer and say, I don't want sales. I don't want to sell my product. You will say thank you and click the phone down. Don't try all those, tricks. This is what we are doing. Sales team. The first thing they teach in sales, don't try to sell. Negotiations, don't try to close. Now, for the first fellow, don't try to close is correct. Now, everybody has heard this. You see this? This is what we understand Sanatana Dharma different from this local practices. Because the local practices will work for those who do first. The second person doing, fourth person doing will become pale. See, it's skin deep. The value is only skin deep. Like people write CDs in those days, professional writing CDs. Nowadays, HR department has understood how to decode that. Earlier, the HR people were not aware of that. So those who are writing CDs like that, using all, exemplary explanations and pedantic words and constructions and all those things. Now, those who have not seen, I will show you. I have a CV of a fellow. But you guys have to meet him first. And then I will share a CV with you. Only then you will understand what I am talking about. Because one look at him, you will understand he is not even fit to be a peon in the office. But look at his CV. It's like, oh, how is it? Because of writing. Now people have learned the art of doing all that now. Now what has happened? Insurance fellow. How many of you encourage banks calling insurance, loan? But you are accepting the calls initially about 10 years back, 15 years back. Citibank, they call you and say, take this loan, take that loan. Now what is it? You have understood. What is it? All insurance policies are useless. Don't quote me. Right? How many of us go for? We say, sir, they just come only to sell. Why? Because they have a target. You see, insurance companies, they have a target. So they have to sell that policy to you. That is why financial consultants also, we don't engage from those people. Who do you engage now? Paid financial consultants are there. You go to those people. Why? Because they are not affiliated to any, but because the moment he is affiliated to HDFC, he will sell only HDFC to you. If he is affiliated to this one, he will sell only that. He is affiliated to LIC, he will sell only LIC. And they are trained. So what happens to you now? You realize it. You're smart, you will pick it up. But he will also come up and say that I'm so concerned about your family. I'm so worried about this. I'm so worried about your this one, that one. Therefore, what you have to do, sir? Won't work. In a matter of 15 years, that shows its original color. Don't try to imitate. But the principle will work. What is it? If you're genuinely interested in the other person, it will work. But are you genuine? The fact that you are going to sell, you can't say you are genuine after that. Because you have a target. Imagine if you are not reaching to the target, if you go to your manager and say, sir, I explained genuinely, sir, what is the nuances of our policy, what is advantage, what is the disadvantage, what are the hidden things, do we? It will work. But who can afford to take that stand? Only a person who is not dependent on the job. If I am not dependent on the job, then I can afford to take that stand. If I am dependent there, I cannot. Don't try to practice this big ideas. Those who, it's exactly like those who were undercutting and getting their job done about 25 years back. Telephone connection. You all remember? You should have done a lot of punya to get a telephone connection. If you get it within 2 years, after you apply 2 years, if you get it, you have done tremendous punya. So what were they doing? I can't wait for my business to continue. I have things to do. Therefore, what did I do? I went and approached this fellow and said, what? Sir, take this. It worked. And then what happened? For him to jump the queue, which means for him, we were giving bribe for what? To do things away from what he is supposed to be doing. And then what happened? For him to do his job faster, we gave. And then what happened? For him to do the job, you have to give. Then what happened? The job, every step you have to give. Then what happened? Even if you give, there's no guarantee that it will happen. That is the time all of us woke up and started talking anti-corruption. Isn't it? Since when we have started talking about anti-corruption? At what point we all woke up and said, corruption, corruption, corruption. That is also so interesting. Corruption in India only you are worried about. Corruption in South Africa, are you worried? Corruption in China, are you worried? That is not our concern at all, actually. Corruption in other state also we are not worried, actually. Corruption in, like, are you worried about the corruption in Karnataka? No. Corruption in Bangalore. Are you worried about corruption in Bangalore? No. Corruption in my ward. Why? You are not in the receiving end, you are in the giving end. That is why you are anti-corruption. Otherwise, are you really interested in to wipe out corruption? Remember, these principles, if you try to practice along with your selfishness, your ignorance, it will come backdoor entry. Your egocentric desires will come through that back door and try to fulfill through these values. That is why I never trust people who are appearing spiritual, religious. I'm not against those people, but we can trust a fellow who is anti, who says, sir, I mean business. We can rely on that fellow. But this fellow is very dangerous. Why? Because he will speak all values. End of all values is what? Where is my pound of flesh? Practicing this prematurely will land only there. It will never help. Remember this. That is why we say don't try to practice it. Don't try to practice his fulfillment. So what is my fulfillment? I'm also trying to get myself fulfilled. What is it? I'm also going to say, get thee behind me, Satan. it will not happen. It won't work for you. You know, it is when you understand that I don't need anything. That is the point where you get this fulfillment. You experience that positiveness of that. That fulfillment is like the Gita. He explains beautifully. He gives the example. What is that state of fulfillment? It is like a river entering in the ocean. He says. Apuryamanam achala pratishta samudramapa pravir. This state is like the state of achalam. No, this one. Totally filled up. Like the ocean. It's like the river entering the ocean. And remember, any river entering the ocean will tremble. The river has that fear. It has to have that fear. If the river is not experiencing the fear, means it's not. Don't ask me, how do you know the river is trembling along? I know. How do you know Allah? Don't ask. It trembles. Because it has to lose its individuality. It has to lose what it has. It has to completely die. It is suicidal as far as the river is concerned. Now it is dying. But there is a tremendous change. It loses that individuality, but instantly gains that totality. In the totality, there is fulfillment. So long as it is a river, because the river thinks, but from where to where I have come, where I was born, what was my condition, what all it happened, all that, and it just gets into nothing. Suddenly, I'm going to become nobody. No, it's not that you are going to become nobody. You become everybody. Now, somebody doesn't become nobody. That somebody becomes everyone. That something becomes everything, not nothing. But for something to experience that everything, it has to pass through that state of nothing. That is the crucifixion. People want to become Christ, bypassing crucifixion. I want to experience a fulfillment, but I want to retain my this. That's not possible. Like Krishanpu, we all want. What will you want to go to heaven? That will not be allowed. You can go right up to the gates. They'll give one kick from there and throw you. That's exactly what is happening to all of us. What is it, sir? Every time you attempt to get something, it looks like you have almost got it. Isn't it? Almost I got it, sir. Before you can even cherish that state, you are back to square one. You genuinely felt the moment I get a job after my education, that's it. The moment you get a house, what is it? That's it. Nothing else. Do you want anything else? Look back. It's fascinating to see life. We don't have the wisdom of the river, because the river looks back. It says, my God, from where I came, and now I'm entering into a state where I'm entering, suddenly I'm going to disappear. Because just that line just disappears. Where is that Ganges water now? Disappear. Where is that gutter? Disappear. Whether it is gutters or Ganges doesn't make any difference. It loses that individuality. It's total chaos and death. And it trembles. It's terrified internally. It has to die. That's the crucifixion. Got to die there. Now his individuality is gone totally. The disappearance of individuality and merging into the totality is where fulfillment is. Otherwise, there's no such thing called fully filling. That's the meaning of fulfillment. Fulfillment means fully filling. All of us are like, beggars. Like Lord Shiva. You know that, no? Lord Shiva was a beggar. He was begging. And he had a begging bowl. Fascinating begging bowl he had. You pour anything into the begging bowl, it will simply disappear. The begging bowl is attached to his hand. He could never shake off. He was cursed. Got a curse. Dosha. Because he chopped off, Brahma had 5 heads, it seems, initially. Brahma made a mistake. So he chopped off Brahma's head. And he chopped off Brahma's head. Even though it is arrogance of Brahma for which he gave the punishment, but still, for that, he has to be paying the price. So what had happened? That head came and stuck to Shiva's hands. All stories, that's all. Don't ask me how he had 5th head, how he chopped, which one he used, that and all that. It's all ideas. Stuck there. You are stuck with that thing. What is that state? That begging bowl can get out. You can wither that only if it gets filled up. A time where it gets filled up is a time it will go off from your hand, it will disappear. Till then, permanently it will be there in your hand. What is this? Filling. So he goes on asking, begging, from door to door he goes begging. And every house they give him. That's exactly what our condition is. Every desire is getting fulfilled. You knock the door, that gets fulfilled. You knock this door, that gets fulfilled. This gets fulfilled. This gets fulfilled. But still, that begging bowl is never filled. It looks like as though it is filled up. In a matter of second, the whole thing disappears. Again is this. Again disappears. Poor fellow. Till he could go and reach Purani, Annapurani. That's why she is known as Annapurani. Very full. That fullness. When she gave him, that is Parvati. He gave. That is the time it got filled. That Purnatva. You have to understand that Purnatva, the fullness in completion. Once you understand that you are complete, that understanding will bring about that fulfillment. You can't add and achieve that fulfillment. Not possible. You can't reach to infinity by adding finites. Any amount of finite you add, it is going to be finite only. It will never reach to infinity. His fulfillment is not through addition. His fulfillment is through subtraction. Our fulfillment is through addition. We believe I'm going to get fulfilled when you add something. A little more if I get, I'll be filled. My desires. One desire is there. Once this desire is fulfilled, that's it. After that, nothing. Only thing is, daughter's wedding. After daughter's wedding, I'll attend all your classes. Along with son-in-law also. Because you are unemployed, he is also unemployed. Genuinely feel. And that happens also. And then he says what? Just a matter of few weeks. I'm saying maximum. Moment that goes instantly, there's another one comes and says, oh, once I complete this, then I will be. Then I will be. Then you keep running and running and running and running and running. So long as you are running with this, it's impossible. You can never get that taste of fulfillment by attempting to run behind your desires. Through desires, you can never get that fulfillment. Only when you transcend the desire, there's a chance. Transcendence of desire is this. By any addition, you cannot. It's not possible. Then what you have to do? You bring everything, denominator to zero. Because your fulfillment is nothing but what? Desire fulfilled divided by desire entertained. That's all. No? What is the formula for your fulfillment? Satisfaction, contentment, joy, etc. All this, happiness, all this is same thing. When do you feel fulfilled? Desire entertained, fulfilled. It's the ratio. Now, what Vedanta says is, don't worry about the desire fulfilled. Bring that desire entertained to zero. What happens? Anything divided by zero, infinity. That's all. It's a very simple formula of life. It's such a simple formula. Elementary mathematics. You don't need, great mathematics. Elementary knowledge. This is desire fulfilled divided by desires entertained. Ratio is that. Desire fulfilled divided by desire entertained. Not the other way around. Don't think it is the other way around. Desire entertained divided by desire fulfilled. No. Number of desires fulfilled versus number of desires that you have entertained. Divide that. Yes, sir, why it is not the other way around? You figure it out. Don't ask me. Everything I can't be explained. Something you got to work also. I've explained it earlier. It is there in the book. So that's why I'm not saying it is there. Yes, he has given it earlier. Because a whole number you get, all that we are experiencing is fraction. Our experience of joy is a fraction. I'm just giving a clue. Right? Not detailing it. Right? It's a fraction. Why? Because always the number of desires entertained by us is more than the desires fulfilled. How many desires got fulfilled for you? All your desires fulfilled? Never. Therefore, at no point of time we have experienced one full unit of joy. One full unit of fulfillment we have never experienced. Almost full is what we have seen. Never full. Even temporarily, I'm saying. Even temporarily also. For you to get one unit. Because if both are equal, if the number of desires entertained and the number of desires fulfilled, if both were, the denominator and the numerator were to be the same numbers, what is the answer? 1. Isn't it? In life, the number of desires fulfilled is more, or the number of desires entertained by you is more? Which is more? That's where the clue is. Never experience one unit of joy, one unit of fulfillment, temporarily also. fulfilled divided by entertained. If you are entertained, desires were to be zero, then any experience, you can put anything on top. Doesn't make any difference. Answer is what? Infinite. Or even more. If you go, it becomes indeterminate. There are two chances, sir. Either it is infinite, any number. Suppose if you put the numerator also 0, number of desires entertained is 0, denominator is 0, numerator also 0, then what is it? 0 divided by 0 is what? Don't say infinite. Says our he says it is to be called as indeterminate. Because a number divided by 0 alone can be infinite. 0 divided by 0, nothing divided by nothing. What answer you can give? You can't say it is infinite. It is far more complex. It is indeterminate. You can't determine what is it. So his state of fulfillment reaches to only two chances, infinite or indeterminate. That's why he says starting point itself, it cannot be described. It is indescribable. After stating it is indescribable, he is attempting to describe what is it. What is that state of fulfillment? Remember these two things. Remember the example of river. That's all. Or the sage. A lot of stories are there. You can go on giving stories. So many is there in the Shastras, where the person is in such a pathetic state. Like Sudama. Don't go by Sudama in the movies, please. Okay. Don't look at this, your movies, because I have seen in 4 languages. Hindi I have seen, Telugu I have seen, Kannada I have seen, Tamil I have seen, where they have, depicted. In all 4, they have made a mess of that character. These fellows don't know what is that great man. It's an insult. They made him like a joker. The joker also wrong now. I have to say, call it a comedian, because now we have this movie, Joker, villain. He's not a villain. Comedian. Character is not a comedy. That self-realized soul. He's a rishi. He is not a human. You can't call him as human. A rishi. Because he goes to meet Krishna. He just wanted to meet him. His wife, she packs goodies for Krishna. It's unbelievable. I don't know whether people understand what I'm saying. I suppose you all know the condition of Sudama's family. Okay. The kids have forgotten what would be the taste of rice. That was a state of poverty. Like we have Buddha statues we have seen. Nobody does justice to Buddha statue, because he has lived his life of deprivation. How do you expect him to have muscular body? A sizzled, body with 6 packs. There is no muscle in the body. Emaciated state is the actual state of Buddha. That was his actual. That is how he is described. But We picturize him like this. This is where we make a mistake of depicting them. A family is forgotten. That state, he is deciding to go and meet the king. The securities were not allowing him to enter. The beggars are not allowed inside. Get out. They will not allow. And he couldn't tell, I'm Krishna's friend. They say, yeah, everybody is his friend. We know. You try, no? I don't know whether you people have ever tried to meet one local CEO, a local company. They just walk into some company. Local, I'm not talking about MNCs and this, that, local company. Try to go and meet one CEO. Tell the receptionist, I'm his friend. They'll say, sit. That's why you people, when you go for meetings and all that, you don't go like this. The way you are sitting in the class. Is this the way you go to your office meeting? You don't. Why? You have to dress yourself up properly. Now here he is going to meet that king of Dwarka. Best is he carries and he has to walk. He was not having a private jet, taking a flight and going there. He was living some other country. He is living there. He has to walk all along, for which he never had money with him. And the food is there. Right? The puff rice is there. He was hungry, thirsty. The fellow didn't touch that. No need. Fulfillment. He brings that. And he offers that to Krishna. And Krishna made him stay with him for 3 days. 3 days he stayed with Krishna. Not a word. Not a word about his poverty. And Krishna went on asking him, what do you need? Tell me. Is there anything that I can do? Just to tease him, or to educate, Rukmini Satyabhama. Because his wives are constantly asking him, do this, do that, do this, do that, nagging him. So he wanted to educate what is the state of fulfillment to those people. So he kept on asking, pestering Sudama to ask, can I do something for you? Can I do something for you? Can I do something for you? He says, no, man. You have given me everything. You have given yourself to me. What is it? What is the point of having Krishna? The kids have forgotten the taste of rice, porridge. What would be the poverty condition? In that condition, that fellow says what? I want nothing. We think it is shyness. We think, he is so shy to ask. The ego. You people don't ask. Why? Ego. You never have the courage to ask. Have you ever had a courage? Try this. Asking. Not possible. Why? Why? Ego. Sudama never had ego. Now, that is how we portray. The actors, they are portrayed as though, Sudama is feeling shy to ask Krishna the favor. It is not shyness. Shyness is ego. He doesn't have that ego. It's his friend. Amongst friends, where is ego? It's fulfillment. He never felt the need to ask anything. Fascinating state of fulfillment. You can admire, you can revel, you can cherish, but you can't understand. See, you can cherish, but you just can't understand. It's not possible. That's what he says. Just can't understand what is that state of fulfillment. It is indescribable. Greatest of offerings, nothing. Biggest sorrow also, nothing for. I chop your head, that fellow says. I love to see it rolling. I've never seen it. What is that? It looks like, bad people. Fortunately, you don't meet such people. Therefore, you don't understand. When you meet such persons, only you understand. Really mad. Yeah. What is the meaning of this? It's inconceivable, indescribable. You cannot capture it in words. Then how do you capture it now? Because all the understanding can come only through words. Whatever I'm speaking to you is only words. But through words, it cannot. Whatever he's writing is words. So how do you capture it? You can capture it only by reading between the lines. You got to read between the lines. Reflect on it. These ideas were not for you to start doing, okay, what is my power? Let me also see how can. No. Try to understand. If at all you get some glimpses on here and there, we will get. That's the purpose of this study. Otherwise, there's no meaning. There's no way that you can you can try to follow what they are saying. Understand what it is to be in that state of fulfillment. What it is to be in that state of security. What it is to be in that state of love. What it is to be in that state of knowledge. Try to gather that. Rest of it we will see. This extrinsic contact. This is his internal one. Extrinsic contact we will see the next class.